My name is Melissa Lujan. I'm the cruise manager here with Sun Tours and Pleasure Bent. And today we're excited to introduce you to our newest cruise that we have, which is the Galapagos with Machu Picchu. And conducting today's presentation is Diego. He's with Gal Agents. And Gal Agents is our preferred vendor in Ecuador. And we're very pleased to be traveling back to Galapagos Islands. And we hope that you would love them too. And so we'll turn over that to Diego and we'll go from there. And we'll take questions and any kind of comments or anything at the very end of the presentation. Okay.
Hey, Melissa?
Yes.
Can you have everybody put their phones on mute, or can you mute everybody so there's no feedback for Diego?
Perfect. We'll go ahead and again, request that everybody be on mute, and we will take care of that on our end also. Thank you, Eric.
And so Diego, thank you. So for those who don't know me, I'm chiming in. I'm Eric. I'm the owner of Sun Tours and Pleasure Bent Tours. Let me see if I can get my video going. And I'm dialing in remotely from Tucson. Welcome to everybody, and welcome, Diego. This is really a special itinerary for us, and especially pleased that myself and my wife will be joining this group on the tour in September, October time. So really excited. This is an area that we haven't gone, and we have had great experience though sending our last group there in October. So I would certainly encourage everybody to go on our website and see a video that we made last time. Diego and his company was instrumental in helping us create a video that showcased a little bit of our tour. So you'll see some of the highlights from that and some of the people that went along, and it's all up on our website. If you click on the, let's see, go to our website, and you click on the gallery tab on the top navigation, and there's a videos button. You click on that and you'll see the Galapagos. If you go on the information on our website at suntoursUS.com or pleasurebenttours.com, you'll see the video, which gives you just a sampling of the excitement activity that we had in Ecuador last year. So Diego, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Melissa, and everybody on the line. I guess we'll take questions after the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric, for the opportunity. Thank you, Melissa, and all the Pleasure Bent and Sun Tours team. It's we are really glad and honored to have another group coming with us to the Galapagos, to you. So we are so excited, and I hope you can feel as excited to come after the presentation as well. Let me see. I'm going to be trying to, I have a teaching background, so I usually like my sessions to be a little bit more active instead of me being talk. So I'm going to ask a few questions, and if anybody knows, you can just unmute yourself and tell me the answer if you know the answer to my question, okay? Let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen? Maybe? Yes. Yep.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So welcome to this unforgettable experience by exploring Galapagos and Machu Picchu. It's going to take place from September 13 to 25 on board the Eco Galaxy in the Galapagos Islands. And yep. Okay.
I saw it differently.
Okay, hold on a sec. I want you to see, I'm going to play a short video so you can see a little bit of what is coming here, okay? Okay, this is a little bit of where you're going to be doing in the tour. So the first question for me is, does anybody know anything about Ecuador in the group? I mean, besides the Santos and Pleasanters, Pleasanters team, feel yourself free to unmute yourself if you know anything about Ecuador. Where is it located? Capital?
Ecuador doesn't it have one of the highest elevation capitals in the world? Isn't Quito one of the highest elevation capitals in the world, if not the highest elevation capital?
Yes, that's a very a very important fact that not many people know. Congratulations, very good. Anybody else? Something else? Don't worry, don't be shy. Just okay. Let's see. That's the location of Ecuador here in South America, and some of the important facts about Ecuador are. First, of course, as you may know, it's right in the middle of the world, latitude 0. It's where the Galapagos Islands are located. Its capital, Quito, as correctly was said, is the highest capital in the world with 9,350 feet above sea level. It's like the highest capital in the world. And as you can see, despite being a very, very tiny country here in South America, we have 4 different worlds in such a small paradise. We have a coast region, Andes region, and the Amazon, and also the Galapagos Island, which we call the insular region, okay? This is our flag over there. Might seem a little bit similar to Colombia or Venezuela, but the important here is the shield. We always have this symbol as our difference from the other 3 flags, okay? This is the map of Ecuador, and here we have the Galapagos Islands. Of course, this is a little bit the scale. So the Galapagos Islands are not that close to mainland, but for this purpose, I mean, I try to zoom it. So first, any international flight will arrive from, usually in this case, the United States. You will arrive to Quito. Here is the capital of the country. Another important city in Ecuador is Guayaquil. It's also a very important city in economical terms. It's a very active port for exports and imports. And usually the Galapagos flights that depart from Quito, you will be flying from Quito. Before the pandemic, there used to be direct flights from Quito to the Galapagos, but the airlines are readjusting to the customer demand. So right now we are going back to the flights that go from Quito to Guayaquil first. This is a 30-minute flight. It's a very short flight. Here you will have a technical stop, especially for refueling. It might be around 40-minute stop. You don't get off the plane. You stay in the plane. There will be only people that get on and the plane that go from Guayaquil to Galapagos, okay? And then you will fly to Baltra Airport in the Galapagos Island, okay? This flight takes around 1 hour, 30 minutes, 35. So in total is usually a flight time around 2 hours, 15, 2 hours, 35 minutes, okay? Let's see about the temperature in the Galapagos Islands, okay? Here on the Galapagos are usually divided in 2 seasons, okay? In December, one is from December to June, which is the wet season. It's a lot more rainy. Also, the temperatures are a little bit higher. That makes it sometimes very hot, especially when doing the hiking activities. So it's, I mean, Galapagos is a year-round destination. Is always lovely. No matter when you go, you will always have a unforgettable experience. But it all comes down to whether you prefer to go on like hotter seasons or cooler seasons. Okay. Now the dry season, it's a lot cooler. It goes from June, at the end of June usually, to November. Okay. In September, which is the day that the cruise will be taking place, the average water temperature is 71 degrees Fahrenheit. And on land, the maximum temperature is 79, and the minimum temperature in land is 66. So it's always a good time to come in September as well, okay? Sometimes the water gets a little bit colder by the end of October or the beginning of November. It's a little bit colder. But in the September, the weather is perfect for the Galapagos Islands, okay? Next. This is a little bit of the itinerary, a short description of the itinerary that the program will include. As I said, most of the United States flights arrive at night, very late at night, in the range of 10 p.m. through midnight sometimes. So in this case, you will have the transfer in. You will be picked up at the airport, and you will have an accommodation at the Windham Airport Hotel. This hotel is usually 2 or 3 minutes away from the airport. That's something that we have carefully thought. So thinking about your rest, because the next day, of course, you're going to have an early flight. So it's best if you stay at the airport as soon as you arrive, okay? The next day, you will have the flight, the transfer to the airport and the flight to Galapagos, and then your program on board the Eco Galaxy catamaran will start, okay? It will run from September 14 to September 19. At the end of the Galapagos part, you will fly back to Quito. And again, you will stay in the Windham Airport to have some rest and get ready for your flight next day to Cusco City, okay, via Lima. In Cusco, you are going to stay the September 20, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. There are 5 days that are more than enough to have a great see inside of the Circuit Valley and the lost city of the Incas, Machu Picchu, okay? And finally, on September the 25th, you'll be transferred to the airport, and you will have a city tour in Lima, a short city tour in Lima, and then you will be transferred to the airport for your international flight back home, okay? This is our Eco Galaxy catamaran. It's our first class category catamaran. It's very popular among the travelers. It's one of the most well-known boats that we have in USA and in Europe as well. And I'm going to show you a little bit of why.
The Eco Galaxy is a first-class catamaran with capacity for 16 passengers that is noted for being the only environmentally friendly boat in the Galapagos Islands. It was built under strict ecological parameters that reduced the use of wood by 50%. It also has cutting-edge technology for power generation and reduced water and fuel consumption. This results in approximately 400,000 pounds of CO2 less per year, generating less impact on the environment. The types of accommodation on board the Eco Galaxy catamaran can be in double or twin cabins and are designed to provide the ideal rest during your trip. The Eco Galaxy offers a unique experience when visiting the Galapagos Islands because of its commitment to environmental conservation, the friendly crew on board, and details such as artwork inspired by Galapagos wildlife.
I must say, I must admit that the images that you are seeing are from last year, but at the beginning of the year. The Eco Galaxy just had a renewal process by the end of 2023. So we are still working on the new images and new videos. So you're going to see something even more enhanced, okay, with the same style, but even more with more and better decoration, newer things. So that will surprise you, okay? Now let me show you the deck plan of the Eco Galaxy, okay? The Eco Galaxy has 4 decks, although the cabins are only on the main deck and in the upper deck, okay? We have 4 cabins here in the main deck. All of those can be matrimonial, or they can be convertible to twin as well. Upon request, with some time in advance, we can turn them into the category that you need. Also, the main deck features the coffee station, the bar, the dining room. There are 2 big tables, and also a living room with the sofas, okay? Here is also another that is called the boutique briefing area. This is usually where the briefing from the naturalist guide will take place every afternoon. Before dinner, you will have a briefing about the activities that you're going to be doing the next day, okay? The next deck is the upper deck. Here's where the other 4 cabins are located. Same, we can turn them into twin beds or matrimonial cabins. This is also where the captain bridge is. Also, we have here the captain cabin and the guide cabins are located on the upper deck, okay? We have the sun deck, and the sun deck has some lazy chairs, has a feature some sofa with some tables for you to enjoy a drink or something, maybe play someday if you want to do it. Here's also where we keep our paddle boards and also our kayaks as well for the activities, okay? The Eco Galaxy also has a lower deck. It is not shown here, but the lower deck is where the crew cabins are, okay? And our staff is entirely accommodated in that part. You can see a little bit of what the Eco Galaxy is. These are the new pictures of the renovated Eco Galaxy after the last renovation last year. As you can see here, there's a matrimonial cabin, and there are 2 other twin cabins. Here we have a part of the bar, and the lounge here with a TV, the air conditioning. All the cabins have air conditioning as well as the common areas inside the boat. This is the dining room. As you can see here, the 2 tables accommodated. Some of the parts outside of the boat. Here we have that part of the bridge. This is the sun deck with the lazy chairs accommodated, so you can enjoy and rest. The sunsets are really, really beautiful in Galapagos, so that's something that you should not miss. And here we have a sample of our gastronomy. our chef. We have a chef on board with the cabin crew that will always be helping you. And we also have one once in a while, and we have some part that is a cruise director that can be the barman or the cruise director. Okay. This is the itinerary that in the Galapagos that you will be doing. The Galapagos has 3 main islands. 4 of them are inhabited. In total, there are 13 important islands plus a few smaller islets, but only 4 of them are populated. The most populated is Santa Cruz here. This is where all the cruises usually start. Here with Baltra Airport, where you arrive. The other island is San Cristobal. This is another inhabited island. And the biggest island here is Isabela. You may see that this is the biggest island on the archipelago, but ironically, most of the island is from a volcanic. All of the islands are volcanic from a volcanic origin, but this island is the one that has the most volcanoes. Okay, a few of them still active, but they are very, very far from the only town and the main town here, that is Puerto Villamil. Okay, this is the itinerary that you will be doing. We will start on Saturday. The islands that you will visit are Santa Cruz, Isabela over here, Fernandina, Santiago Island, Rábida, which is a small one here, and you will go back to Santa Cruz. Okay, you will be doing something like this. This will take 6 days and 5 nights, the total cruise. Okay. Can anybody tell me what you remember? What activities did you see that were in the video that is possible to do in Galapagos? Anybody wants to volunteer?
Snorkeling.
Very good, snorkeling. Personally, my favorite. I mean, that's totally my favorite because, I mean, we know as a human beings, we know a lot about land. We also know a lot about the air, but the sea, I mean, you know, in the water, we don't know much about it. So it's awesome to see a new world. It's like you see a new world totally snorkeling in Galapagos. Very good. Another activity? Anybody else?
I mean, do you do a canoe or kayaking or something?
Yes, kayaking as well. Very good, very good. Let me show you. This is our website of the Eco Galaxy, where you can find more information as well. But here's a summary of the activities. The snorkeling, as you can see. You will always also do in Galapagos, you will do mainly hiking and snorkeling. The activities on the itineraries are usually after breakfast, very early in the morning, you have breakfast. After that, you go on a hiking expedition with our naturalist guide. It will probably take around 1 hour and 30 minutes of a hiking where the guide will be explaining every detail, even history also as well of the islands. And you will see part of all of the spots that you are going to visit here during the cruise are part of the uninhabited parts of the archipelago. Okay, these are not places that you can go. For example, there are other kinds of tours in Galapagos. You could go flying there, and there are sometimes day tours. These are spots where you cannot get to in a day tour. You can get to these spots only if you go on a cruise, okay? It's not possible to do. Another advantage of taking a cruise is that the navigation takes place at night. So every time that you wake up in a different place, okay? So that gives you more time to enjoy that spot and more time to do more activities, okay? We also have some activities that is called panga rides. In some parts of the archipelago, it's not permitted to actually land in the island. So sometimes for protection projects or sometimes due to nesting seasons. And in that case, you will only have a panga ride like in the zodiacs or dinghies that we call here. And as somebody said, you will also be kayaking on the island. There will be one day where you will do a kayak or paddleboard. These activities are also optional. That means if you are too tired for the day or the afternoon that these activities are going to take place, you can always stay in the boat and rest. I mean, they are not mandatory. Of course, you may miss a lot of fun, but if you are too tired or you are not so sure about doing the activity, you can stay on board the boat, okay? There's no problem with that. Okay, another question. Anybody can see or tell me what wildlife did you see? Examples of animals that you saw in the video.
Big lizards.
Yes, called lizards, yes. Actually, well, the technical name is iguana. It's not a dragon. People sometimes they joke with the House of Dragon or Game of Thrones, and they say that you say Dracarys, they will spit fire, but no, these dragons and reptiles do not spit fire. They are very small.
Spitfire.
Yes, they are harmless. Believe me, sometimes people get really scared, and it's understandable because it's an animal that you may have never seen or may never see again because it's endemic from the Galapagos. But they are totally harmless. Actually, sometimes when they see you, they sometimes, if they feel threatened, they just start running. But most of the wildlife in Galapagos, believe me, they are so used to people that they do not run. They will not chase you unless you are taking their spot. And I've seen that. I remember that I was in Santa Cruz in one of the beaches, and there was a guy that put his towel where there was a sea lion before, and the sea lion went for a swim, and then when the sea lion returned to the spot, there was this towel. Of course, he said, "It's not mine. I didn't live here." So he just went and lie down on the towel. When the owner of the towel came back, I mean, he had to wait until the sea lion get moved over there. And I told him, you know what? You are in his home. You are the strange. We are the strangers. He is at home. So he had to wait for about 10 minutes. And then after that, the sea lion moved and he could retrieve his towel. Okay, let me see. Here is the big lizard, most and better known as iguana. So There are lots around Galapagos. In most of the places in Galapagos, you will see sea lions and iguanas. They are usually found almost everywhere. Tortoises also especially in some parts that are called the highlands in Galapagos and in Santa Cruz especially. Also, these animals that here, does anybody know the names of these animals? They are very particular with their blue color.
Footed booby.
Yes, very good. It's a blue-footed booby. In Galapagos, actually, there are three kinds of boobies. The blue-footed booby, as you can see here. There's also the red-footed booby. Of course, it's almost similar to this one. His feet, of course, are red. And there's also the Nazca booby that I'm going to show you a little bit later, okay? But on the other hand, there are some other animals, like here, the flamingos and the penguins. These are some animals that you may not see in the main islands, that you must go to spots on a cruise, usually to see them. Especially the penguins, they are in some parts of the Galapagos. They are not found everywhere. And this is one of the endemic Galapagos, is the penguin from Galapagos. As you can see, is very small. That also allows him to swim really, really fast on the water. If you are lucky enough to be doing snorkeling with a penguin next to it, you will not be matching his speed in the water, believe me. Also, the flamingos, they are usually in lagoons. They have also developed the ability to fly. They don't fly really high, but they fly from one lagoon to another lagoon. They usually stay there for feeding purposes and also for mating as well. Yep. This is the other kind of booby that I was telling you about. This is called the Nazca booby, okay? You will recognize the Nazca booby because it has kind of like a mask around his eyes and around his beak. And as you can see here, the Nazca booby is feeding on the little one, okay? This is some part of the samples of the wildlife that you are going to see in Galapagos, okay? After that, after the whole program in Galapagos, you will be transferred out to the Baltra airport and you will go back to Quito. Again, via the same port, you're going to stop in Guayaquil and then you have a flight to Quito. The stop, same, lasts around 30-35 minutes for refueling usually. And then you will go to Quito. You will stay near the airport, as I said, and after the next day, you will go to flight to Cusco via Lima first. And in Cusco, you will start your journey to find the lost city of the Incas, okay? First, you will start at Ollantaytambo. It's part of the Sacred Valley, which is called. Machu Picchu is not only the typical structure that you see in the picture, but there's a whole valley over there, okay? But we start, in this case, by Ollantaytambo, which is usually the first part, in the Sacred Valley. You are going to be able to see a lot of ruins. I didn't want to spoil you so much because in Peru and Machu Picchu, there's some places that you have to see to get marble, okay? That's a little bit widespread and more information about Cusco than there is about Galapagos. That's why I try to focus a little bit more on the Galapagos that you're going to see. Okay, in Ollantaytambo, you are going to take, after that, and you're going to visit this part around 2 days. And then on the next day, you're going to embark on a train. On the train, it will take you closer to the lost city. You will have a stop at the Moray Inca ruins. This is also part of the big city of the Incas, and part of as well of the valley. You're going to see marvelous thing. The guy will explain you all about the history of there, the facts, the activities that the Incas used to do there, and what was everything used for. Okay. After that, you will climb up a little bit more, and you will get to the jewel of the crown in Peru, the lost city of the Incas. Okay. I'm sure most of you have seen one of those pictures in Google or in YouTube in any video. And this is part of what you are going to get to see from the summit that you will arrive there after these visits over here. And you're going to see the lost city of the Incas. This is the actual place. It's not the only place where the Incas civilization lived. There was many, as I said before, but this is like the many consider the jewel of the crown in Machu Picchu. Okay, you're going to see the valley and the old constructions, even the water and irrigation systems that were really advanced for our time. And after Machu Picchu, the next day, you're going to be exploring, you're going to go back to Cusco. And then in Cusco, you're going to see more of the history of the Incas, explained, of course, by the professional guide. One of the highlights, I would say, in Cusco is this temple that you can see. In the Inca time, at the Inca time, it was the most important temple of the empire at that time. His name was Coricancha. It's located in Cusco, okay? You might visit also other historical places like Plaza de Armas with the cathedral, but I don't want to spoil it more of the visit, okay? And after that, after those visits and exploration of the Inca Empire, you will return to Lima. You will have a city tour in Lima, and then you will be transferred to the airport to take your international flight, okay? Let me see. Now, as I said, I am kind of a teacher background, even though I have been in travel like 15 years, I think. I also did teaching as well. And my sessions of meeting are not usually to ask questions by the audience. Instead, I start asking the questions, okay? So we're going to have a little bit of playtime. I'm going to ask a few questions. Feel free to volunteer and tell me the answer. Anybody who knows. And probably, I don't know, Melissa, or after that, you will text your name and register the person that has the most points. So I'm gonna take a surprise and I'll give it to you. I'm going to be visiting Albuquerque in February the 20th. So I'm going to be there. So I'm gonna take you a little prize if you are the winner, okay? So don't feel shy. Just let me know if you have the answer of the question, okay? So let's start by the 6. What is the name of the most important Inca temple and where is it located? Does anybody know? Anybody volunteers? If you were carefully listening to me, probably you might remember the answer. Excuse me? Quito? Not really. Good try, good try. Anybody else? Somebody said that?
Coricancha Temple
Very good. Where is it located?
in Cusco.
Yay, very good. Coricancha in Cusco, Peru. Yes, very good. So I was paying attention. Okay, anybody else can volunteer and give me a number? The person that wants to answer. Let me see.
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay. What altitude makes Quito the highest capital city of the world? That's a little bit tough, but it's 25 points. How much? How much?
9,000.
9,000. Yes, who said that? 9,000 what? Yes, 9,350 feet above sea level. That makes Quito the highest capital city of the world. Okay. Very good. Anybody else?
1.
1. Okay, got it. Name at least 2 reasons why the Eco Galaxy catamaran is eco-friendly. If you watch the video,
Less CO2, less CO2.
yes, it consumes less fuel. Yes, that's 1.
And less wood.
Yes, very good. It was built with 50% reduction of wood, and it also features very advanced tech for power generation that reduces fuel and water consumption. And that makes 400 pounds of CO2 less per year. Very good, very good. So you are also contributing to the environment in your visit. Very good. Anybody else?
8.
8. Where will you stop during your flight from Quito to Galapagos? There's one city that you stop at. Yes, very good. Who was that? You will have a quick stop there. Do you remember how long I said that you will stop in Guayaquil?
30 minutes.
Yes, very good. Do you get off the plane or not?
No.
No, yes, very good. You stay there. Believe me, I have seen people that are trying to get off and say, hey, are you going to Galapagos? Yes, no, so stay there. Don't get off. I've been there. Okay, anybody else? Only 4 more. 2. Name 2 activities that you will do during your cruise on the Eco Galaxy catamaran.
Kayaking.
Kayaking, very good, that's 1. Snorkeling, yes, my favorite, and hiking as well, very good. Way to do hiking, snorkeling. You're gonna have panga rides sometimes, and depending on the spot and the itinerary, kayaking, and also, if possible, paddleboard. Okay, let's go with my favorite number 7. In Galapagos, September is within the dry season or the wet season?
Dry season.
Right. Very good. Okay, next. 5. Name at least 3 species of wildlife you might see in the Galapagos.
Turtles.
Turtles, yes, underwater, yes. Who else? Yeah, what was the name of the dragon? Yes, it's an iguana. Don't ever say that there are dragons in Galapagos.
Flamingos and boobies.
Yes, flamingos and boobies. What are the 3 kinds of boobies that I mentioned?
Bluefoot. Redfoot.
Bluefoot, yes, redfoot, and
What's the last one? I don't. Oh, mask. Yeah.
actually it's Nazca. Nazca, Nazca booby. Very good, very good. And finally, somebody who wants to go, name at least 2 islands that your cruise will visit.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody said?
Isabella.
Very good, Isabella, yes.
Santa Cruz and Santa Fe.
Santa Cruz, yes, very good. We're going to be Isabella, the biggest one, Fernandina, small one here, is Santiago Island here. Rábida, which is very small to see here, I'm not sure if you can see it, and Santa Cruz, which is the island that you will arrive to, okay? Very good, very good. Very good. Melissa, you tell me the names of the people that were all here, and I'll take some sweets and guts for my visit to Albuquerque, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so right now, if you have any questions, now it's your turn.
How many hours is the flight time from Albuquerque to Quito?
In my case, I'm going to fly from Quito to Houston first, which is around 4 hours and 4 hours and 30, almost 5 hours. And then my connection from Houston to Albuquerque, I'm not sure how long it is. I think it's 2 hours.
It is 2 hours. However, we won't necessarily be on that same connection. It can be up to 12 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was one flight that my operations department offered me. That was around, I arrived to Houston at 6 a.m. in the morning. And then my colleague was going to purchase the ticket that departed at 9 p.m. so I could arrive at Albuquerque at 11. So I said, no, that's too late. So I'm on a flight, the 1 p.m. flight, no, 11 a.m. flight, and arrive to Albuquerque at 1 p.m. Yes. Very good. Anybody another question?
Diego,
Yes.
how much hiking is there after you leave the Galapagos when you're in Peru and Lima?
How much what? I'm sorry.
How much hiking?
Oh,
So if somebody has mobility issues, is that gonna be a concern?
if somebody has like very hard mobility issues, unfortunately for Galapagos, it might be a bit hard. I mean, we have had people in wheelchair, but it all depends on how can I say, how much the person wants to go. Because I remember that with a few people that we have had in wheelchair is a mobile wheelchair, with remote, and the hiking, for example, that passenger in that time, he did like half of the hiking, and in the snorkeling, she was fine. I mean, the thing is that she could not walk very long distances. So in that time, sometimes she used the wheelchair, but it also depends on the itinerary, because some of the islands in Galapagos, when you start on a beach and there's a trail, most of the parts that there's a trail, but there's a sand. So when there is sand, I mean, there might be a chance that a wheelchair is used, but that is not really common because on the other hand, most of the places in Galapagos are also from are very rocky places. So in those parts, definitely a wheelchair could not go.
So that person wouldn't need to go. There's not a wheelchair issue. It's just my wife can't hike for long periods. Like she couldn't hike for 2 hours or something.
Okay, yes. In Galapagos, I would say that the maximum hiking activity, the maximum length of the hiking activities is 2 hours. You will not go hiking like for 3 or 4 hours. What happens is that sometimes, for example, the actual hiking that takes you from the moment that you land in the island to the place that you are going, sometimes, for example, you arrive in one part of the beach and you're going to visit another part of the beach, and the length between the 2 points is probably around 30 minutes, 35. Then you spend some more time in the designated place that you're going to visit, where of course, you will rest and you will stand listening to the guide. If there's a beach activity, you might go around the beach. And then when you return, it will be another 35 minutes which in total, the activity makes around 2 hours, but it's not that you will be actually hiking 2 hours.
What about when you get to Lima and Peru?
Oh, when you get to Lima, yes, you will not be hiking around more than 2 hours, but I would say that Lima and in the Machu Picchu, you will hike probably the actual hiking time might be 1 hour 30 to 2 hours. Yes.
Okay, do you always have the option not to hike?
Yes. In
Okay.
Galapagos as well, we had some passengers, as I said, sometimes they say, no, you know what, I'm very tired. I'm not going in this morning hiking activity, and I'll catch you later for the snorkeling activity. And you are free to do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I assume, given the small size of the ship, that there are no single opportunities.
And we have 2 cabins that can be turned into triple, but it all depends on the availability, because most of the time we have double occupancy accommodation, so not all the boat can be turned into triples.
Hey, Diego.
Yes.
This is Pat Burns. I'm here with Jackie.
Mhm.
We were really interested in Machu Picchu since we haven't been there before. And it looks like this tour you're just one day in the actual city of Machu Picchu. Is that correct? Or
I mean, for the lost city of the Incas, yes, you are one whole day. Before you go to Ollantaytambo, and also after that you will also in Ollantaytambo you will spend around, in Aguascalientes as well, you will spend around 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and there's one whole day for the Inca, the lost city.
what about access? Are there a lot of steps and hiking in the lost city, or?
Yes, I mean, I will not say that is something that is not doable and feasible, but there are big steps, and sometimes a little bit. It's not like you have to climb up really high, but
Yeah.
the steps are really are more than the regular ones. Of course, probably 2 or 3 times the regular steps.
Is it possible to extend the tour and spend more time in Machu Picchu?
Well, that would depend, and I think that would be handled by Melissa, by the centers.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the answer is we can certainly customize this for you. That really wouldn't be a problem either, to do whatever you need. We, of course, have to work with you on those exact parameters.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it can be done. Anybody
How,
else?
I have a question. I mean, on your videos, you don't see very many tourists, but how crowded are the Galapagos Islands? I know Machu Picchu is crowded, but
Yes. I would say thank God, and thank also to the Galapagos National Park regulations. I mean, of course, the main cities, for example, Puerto Ayora is like a normal town. I would say that Puerto Ayora is the most crowded town of the Galapagos. But in general, we have to remember that the whole archipelago is a national park. So around 90% of the archipelago is uninhabited. And that's due to regulations of the national park. Now, regarding the excursions, there's also, for example, as you saw, there's an itinerary that we are doing, okay? So the other boats are doing other itineraries in other days. For example, in our itinerary, we have 3 itineraries for the Eco Galaxy. We consider, of course, with Santos as well, that the one that we are providing you is the best, is the nicest. But regarding to your questions, there are not many boats at the same time in each spot. Last time I was in Galapagos, I was around July, August from the last year. And most of this in the spots, usually I remember that there were not more than 3 boats at the same time, and 3 boats that have 16 passengers each. Even, for example, sometimes regarding itineraries, we navigate with the same itinerary as other boat. But for example, we started with the hiking activities very early in the morning. They started with the snorkeling, and then when we finished the hiking, we did the snorkeling, and likewise in their case, after the snorkeling, they did the hiking. So everything is carefully planned, so there are not many people crowding every place and disturbing the wildlife, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Diego, may I ask you, at the Galapagos, I know the ship carries 16 passengers, right? How many total would be on this tour?
Is it just the 16, or is it combined with other tours?
So let me answer that, Diego. So I guess, no, we've chartered this boat. So this is just going to be a group of 16, and if we have any triples, then it might be 17 passengers only. So we have a nice intimate group the entire time of the tour.
What about, is that the same for Lima and Machu Picchu?
That's correct. It's going to be limited to this small group. So including my wife and myself as the escorts, and then 7 other cabins that are booked for this, and we'll have that group the entire time.
No, that's not.
And our naturalist guide will also be part of the crew on the Eco Galaxy, and it will be dedicated exclusively to you. I mean, to the 16 passengers that are on the Eco Galaxy. Okay.
I see.
One of the great things about traveling small catamaran, a small luxury yacht like this is we can get into places that the big cruise ships and the big ships, who will be circling around Galapagos would never be able to get to, and so we have to take advantage of that. That's really an important thing for this tour, and important for you guys to get up and close and personal and have that intimacy, like I said, that you wouldn't really get with even a boat that's 2 or 3 times as big, or even one that's got hundreds of passengers. So that's a real benefit for this.
Yes, Eric is right. As he said, there are other boats that carry up to 100 passengers, and sometimes even we are a local tour operator. So there are also other even tour operators from the States, but believe me, as Eric said, with a small boat, we have a more intimate experience, even more personalized. Sometimes, you start getting familiar and friendly with the crew, and they recognize you by their names. You start recognizing by their names. When you stop at the spots, at the designated spot in the island, we have 2 zodiacs, 2 dinghies. So it's 8 in one of them, 8 in the other. We just get on the zodiacs and we start the excursion, right? But for example, for the bigger boats, you should see that when they have to get off on their boats, oh my God, you have to divide them in groups, and takes a lot of time of that. I mean, of course, it's a matter of preference, but I think the more personalized experience and more private experience are always better. It allows you to have a closer and better experience, even with the guides, when asking questions and hearing the answers. A private boat is, in my humble opinion, is a better experience.
I mean, you'll be able to snorkel right close to the boat, versus if you're on a bigger cruise ship, you've got to take a dinghy, or you've got to have a tender to go somewhere to be able to snorkel, and get on another boat to snorkel. So it is it's a little bit different experience. And did you say we have kayaks and snorkeling and all these equipment on board, correct?
For the snorkelings, we will also have we will always have the dinghies, because the dinghies are always close to the group. So, you know, in case anybody feels tired or kind of needs help, it does not usually happen, but the dinghy and are part of the crew will always stay around. So you can always be, you know, they will tell you, the guy will tell you, if you are too tired or you need a little bit of help, just raise your hand in the water and the dinghy goes right there to you and helps you get on, and then you remain there until the rest of the people finish the activity. It's all very, very secure. Any other question?
Diego, are there any scuba tours on Galapagos?
In Galapagos, yes, but for scuba cruises, I mean, in Galapagos, there are only two kinds of cruises. The one that we are doing, that is called the naturalist cruise, and it will have, for the water experiences, we'll have always snorkeling. Of course, if you are experienced in snorkeling, you can go down, but with a snorkel. Now, if you want to do a diving cruise, it will always have to be apart, because you will have to take another specific diving cruise. You will need, in Galapagos, you need, of course, a open waters license for the diving, and you need at least 30 immersions locked into your license for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Are children allowed?
Oh, on our side, we always think that probably 6 years old is the minimum age that we kind of accept, and there's a reason for that, because, you know, I know that the kids usually enjoy, and they will enjoy, but sometimes if you try, and I've seen very few boats that accept younger than that, because, you know, the point is that everybody enjoys the activity. So if you take usually a younger kid, probably the ones that are not going to be enjoying the cruise will be the parents. And that's the reason that we take only until from 6 years old up.
But 16 is not considered too young.
No, 6 years old.
We'd love to have a 16-year-old on the boat.
Oh, no,
That would certainly bring the average age of our customer base down a little. That would be
Yes, we do take that. Any other question? Okay, if there are no more questions, I'll leave you with the sound of the ocean and the sea lion telling you muchas gracias. There's the Echo Galaxy, by the way. I left you with the actual sound of the sea over there. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Eric.
Thank you, Diego. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And,
Diego.
everybody from Pleasure Bent, Sun Tours, and I think I hear the calls already coming in, so. If anybody else has any questions? That's it? Okay, so you are welcome to give me a call, and I can give you my direct line if everybody has a pen and paper. Again, my name is Melissa, and my direct line is 505-582-2357. And that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Great, Melissa. Just give me the names of the people that booked the tour, and I will take some surprises in my visit to Albuquerque.
I sure will, Diego. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on tour.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yes.